Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Happy Friday to you. Hope you're having an amazing day with you and your family. We're going to take a look here at Axie Infinity, see what's going on, of course, with AXS. And I got a lot of requests to cover it, not just because the 15, it's up 16% on the day, but they're asking how to identify a breakout, and there are definitely some telltale signs that this has that we want to look at to help you understand specifically what to look for in the future when you see a coin performing like this, right? So that being said, I'm not a financial advisor, love teaching people to trade. Really hope you can learn something here today. My goal is to help you become a better trader. So if you want to, get a lot better, essentially, CryptoCache.tech is a website. Link in the description below. I have a trading academy teaching you how to trade. Everything I know, essentially. Those are private videos available to members, as well as a signal group where I share the signals for all the trades that I take. Now, I've been taking less trades lately, and I hope that you are too. We're position sizing effectively, making sure it works within our risk tolerance. So make sure that you're not going crazy bonkers here at this point. We need to make sure to wait for confirmation, okay? And Bitcoin hasn't truly given us confirmation it wants to break this descending trend yet. All right, just keep that in your mind. All right, take a look here at Axie. Here's some things to identify. So first of all, when it comes to a trend, right? We want to start with a trend line descending. In other words, it hit its highest point right here, and you can see it hit a few points on the way down. Now, a lot of times you don't need to worry about candle wicks. It's typically just the candlesticks I think is most effective, but you can use both. In this case, if you see it from the candlesticks here, when the one-day candlestick closed here on the 5th, we're looking at $33, and here right at about 24. Those prices are lower than the previous, of course, but they're essentially establishing lower highs, and it is unable to break above that. As you can see here, the 20-day SMA eventually aligned itself with it. Now we're back up above that. But in most cases, the 50 will be the one to kind of help with that descending trend line. So being up over the 50, I feel, is going to be the biggest indication that Axie is back on track. But for now, it's a very good start. So again, that's kind of the starting point there in that sense. In other words, you identify the trend. So we broke the descending trend line, right? So we're no longer moving down. We're no longer establishing lower highs. Next thing you want to look at is the most recent high, and you can see pretty clear here. There was 3 days. In fact, I just covered Keeper as well, and it had a very similar pattern here, where you can see 1, 2, and 3 days where it tested, and then it broke through here today. So yesterday, in all likelihood, you probably wouldn't have been able to anticipate the fact that it was going to break out, but you could tell, though, if you were to look at this here, we got this ascending type of pattern, and most ascending patterns break to the upside, especially when you test a key level resistance multiple times. That's what we're seeing there. So essentially, all those things coming to a head, breaking out, now we're at that point. Now, here's the question, how much higher or lower will it go from here? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at some of that standard stuff and find out. First of all, we're getting rejected at 50 on the RSI, not great. That's right there, close to about $18, just a little below, but $18 is a Fibonacci retracement level, as well as a previous support, okay? So that could work as a resistance, so keep in mind, $18 is also equally as important to break above. And then we can also see too here with the MACD, we had a convergence roughly 4 days ago, kind of telling us that the momentum has officially shifted upwards. And it was a very significant shift in momentum there, so it's nice to see that. If we take a look at the 4-hour too, let's go ahead and identify that as well. You can see a strong convergence here on the 23rd, that was yesterday. So yesterday afternoon, we saw the price action converge, so to speak, telling us that we are effectively on the right side of the tracks. So that would have been a good indication there, and I'm willing to guess if we look at the 1 hour, we'll see on the Ishimoku cloud that the price action had broke above right at that time. Actually, it's right here is where the price action was at, right about 1300 yesterday. So this is where the MACD was converging, it was right here. So what you do is you wait for confirmation for the price action to come above the cloud. Once it does, it comes back down, retests the cloud, and continues higher. These are both great points of taking entry when you have confirmation above the cloud. Okay, so that's generally what I try to look for. So again, this wasn't on my radar, didn't see it, but had I noticed those things, that would have been a good long position to take. All right, so that's kind of where we're at there. The only thing I'm concerned about here, of course, is that we do have a lot of continuation here. In other words, if we take a look at TD sequential, we're at a 9 plus 3. In other words, we're at 12 4-hour candlesticks into this push here, okay? So 12 4-hour candlesticks, that's what, 48 hours if I'm not mistaken? That's a lot of momentum to the upside in that same direction. In other words, for the last two trading days, the price has continued higher than the previous 4th candlestick. So it's a pretty big sign telling us that we're getting closer to that highest point where we might see a retracement. We also see 70 on the RSI being broken and above. Now, a lot of times coins will do this. They'll stay above and kind of test that and then come back down below eventually. But I would say in general, RSI is important to pay attention to. When you see the price action coming back down, that's a good indication to sell your position. Looking at the 1 hour, let's see if there's anything else we can note here. We did hit a 9 plus 6, now we're at a 5. So we do have a decent amount of consolidation here. So there's potential for about 3 or 4 more hours to the upside. I think the likelihood there is fairly low, but that is a possibility. Okay, so Axie's not looking terrible. Definitely, decent shape, all things considered. But that's kind of where we're at here for the moment. So that's kind of the general sense here of Axie Infinity and what's going on here. Not really, groundbreaking stuff, but it is important, I think, to just kind of pay attention to how these type of patterns form. A descending pattern followed by a resistance pattern, which is usually a channel trade or a range trade. And then an ascending breakout, which we just experienced here. The likelihood of Axie continuing higher from here is greater. Again, pending Bitcoin doesn't do anything stupid and go down to 18,000 or lower, we should be in good shape to see Axie hold. Again, a lot of this comes with a clause. If Bitcoin does something stupid and closes, just say a deep red day, we get a bearish engulfing candle or something under 20,000, a closure under 20,000 from Bitcoin would be definitely a bad thing for Axie. So that's where we're at. I hope that made sense to you and you understand a little bit more. And if you want to become a better trader, once again, CryptoCache.tech is a site, link in the description below. Thank you to all my current community members for being amazing parts of my life and allowing me to help you become better. And thanks so much, too, for the praise I've been getting lately as well. I recognize a lot of the good signals recently have been very nice, and I appreciate just hearing that, and it's nice to be part of that and to share that with you. Thank you. All right, have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks again for your time. We'll see you.